and you're probably faster than all of them. You don't have double down tires with Cushcore.
Nope.
You don't have
What?
Schmelvins or...
Oh. Boom. There it is, guys. We figured it out.
Free ride rims, like, and you claim to go mountain biking.
I do. We had a little
ride
bit.
to 27.5.
Yeah.
No.
I would do. I would do
Yeah, you would. Do it.
29s.
Do
I
it,
just
do
got
it.
such a deal on the YT. Jeffsy.
Jeffsy, yeah.
The Jeffries. Oh, enjoy a sparkling water.
I've already popped that. Dog, popped it open. Started to down it.
Welcome to the show
I have
tonight.
the guides on my status, and they just get me by. But my problem probably for me and the guides is I don't think I have the strong hands. I think you probably got the meats there, man. Look at those things.
Strong hands.
I mean, my hands are strong in general, kind of, but I feel like I'm faster when I don't have to have weak brakes.
Well, welcome to the show, everyone.
We're making a show?
We're here in the garage making a show happen.
Let's make it happen.
And
Get on it.
today we're just answering questions. What do you got? Ask us anything.
There's so many questions out there.
You can ask me a question.
It's great.
I can ask you a question. We can ask questions. You can ask questions. So getting
Nick's
gnarly.
going to have to pay attention to the questions because you may have noticed we're in a little different location tonight.
Oh, dude.
Undisclosed location.
North of Denver.
That's right.
Just north of Denver.
And so I don't have the other computer. I was going to try to bring it, but that wasn't happening.
No one noticed.
I barely made it here. And no, they don't notice. Well, they notice if I can't respond to their questions.
Oh, yeah.
I could pull it up on the phone.
Oh,
probably.
you get your phone going, dude. Get your phone going.
Dude, same wavelength, man. I was just thinking the same.
Favorite color?
The same thing.
First question.
Who asked that? If they know me,
Canon.
I don't have favorites.
No, you don't have.
We've gone over this on this show. I try not to utilize superlatives in my opinions in life. It leads to frustration. It leads to division.
You can't eat cheese, so.
Well, yeah, but that's not a superlative. That's just an allergy. So when you say you have a favorite, somehow it means that you're like just sort of excusing everything. I like to like things for what they are or dislike things for reasons that I dislike them. So, colors, I like orange and pink.
Orange and pink?
Together.
Together?
They're great.
I've seen teal.
Don't love blue, generally. I think blues because I've had too many blue road bikes in my life, and I never wanted them in the first place, let alone to be blue. So there you go.
Favorite color?
Favorite. What's a color that you like?
Black.
Yeah, you do that, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just a black. Sometimes black with
you're
some
not,
accents.
but
No, but I like the color black mainly because I'm a bike mechanic, and if I wear anything other than black, or I was a bike mechanic.
Sure.
Now
No, you're still a bike mechanic because you in your depths of your soul.
Now I'm just messy.
When it comes to clothing, yes, I skew to the blacks and grays too for the same reason that I can't. I mean, everything's always dirty.
You can't have two favorite colors. That's what's coming in.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. That's why I don't have a favorite. And that's why I like orange and I like pink, but I really like them together.
Okay.
Get it? Get it.
See, I'm more of a
Purple can show up as well. Sometimes there can be a little
grimace.
A three-way with purple, but not all the time. It's not. I mean, pink and orange, they're a standard set, and then beyond that, it just Depends on the situation. Depends on how everybody's feeling for the day.
I like multiple shades of gray.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do.
Oh.
So Cameron should know better than to ask.
You think he's just poking the bear?
I am maybe a little bit, and he should know better than to ask simple questions.
Yeah.
It's not a leading question. It's not a question that promotes conversation per se, and he should know that because he's a psychologist. He's a doctor of the psychology. So, yeah, I outed you as a doctor. Now you're official in the chat as the smartest person in the chat.
Okay. Well, bam.
Nick,
Yeah.
what's one of the best mountain bikes you've ever ridden?
That's such a tough question. But
And why? What made it great?
I want to say, like all around, I think a Pivot.
Really?
DW Link and Giant, and the DW Link just, it pedals, it jumps, it thrives.
Thrives, dives,
Not that I don't like anything else, but like
survives.
when I rode, like years ago, I rode a 5.5 and I was just like, this is awesome.
I've never trail ridden a Pivot.
5.5. Didn't really like
I'm not a fan of their aesthetic, generally.
Yeah.
Their logos are garish.
at best. I also
Although they have some new colors right now. I've seen them at the Mojo Wheels. They've got one. It's like Two-Face from Batman, right? One half of the bike is white. The other
been
half
done.
is blue. Well, of
Trek.
course it's been done. It's all been done. It can be done good still.
Trek.
Everything. Black bikes have been done over and over and over, and you still
Yeah.
freaking.
I love black
yeah,
bikes.
It's so boring.
Just
Just careful. Your bike's gonna get lost in the Apex parking lot.
Okay. Back to me.
Yes. Well, I was talking about you.
Next favorite bike is Hardtail Kona Hanzo 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Nice.
Kona Hanzo.
Uh,
That's the best hardtail I think I've ever.
I wish I
possibly
had the
ridden.
time, like the ride time, to justify keeping a good trail hardtail around like that. They're so much fun. I had one for
Yeah.
a while, and for a little bit, pandemic years, it was my only bike. But yeah, you can do everything with them, but I don't ride enough. I mean, I have two full suspension bikes now. A gravel bike, a road bike, and I ride none of them, so I can't have another mountain bike.
Our next question is best day on the bike ever.
Best day on the bike ever. Again, there's no best, but if we discuss what's highly memorable.
Yeah.
I forget what year it was.
What? Let's go back.
Okay.
What year?
What year? I don't know. I want to say 15 maybe? I think it was before our third kid was born. Anyway, my wonderful wife organized a whole weekend of mountain biking adventures for my birthday.
A whole weekend?
Yeah. And she organized it with a bunch of my friends and the Rude Boys to come, who are also my friends. They're the same group, to participate. So we I forget all we rode, but like we went to Crested Butte and we rode. I don't know the names of everything in Crested Butte. People remember. We rode a dirt road, just a dirt road for a long time. It connected to another road, a trail, ended on Dr. Park.
Was it like partially gravel?
Yeah, I mean there was gravel on the dirt road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever do gravel with your mountain bike?
Gravel on my mountain bike. It was super fun. And then we did Monarch Crest like the next day. So
Oh.
the entirety of that weekend was First rate.
Most premium.
Yes, most premium.
Huh?
You're up, buddy.
Dude, there's so many good days after 20.
Chris Harris says we got double audio going.
Yeah,
Are you fixing that?
double audio.
I'm trying not to. Is he saying I'm stuttering?
Yeah. I did beat Brian Lopes at a contest once. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you should. Very
Yeah,
good.
That's my
Nice.
that's my humble
The
brag.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah. Just some name dropping there. That was a pretty good day. Ray's Mountain
That's
Bike
a
Park.
good
We
day.
did a little dirt jump or a little jumping contest.
Audio seems fixed.
Yep.
Nice.
Technician.
Sorry,
Uh,
just catching up
that
with
was a-
all the things. Yeah.
That was like a career.
It was a,
Highlight
it was a
for me.
career. Yeah, it should be.
Uh,
It is the dirt jumping thing.
Yeah. Ray's Mountain Bike Park in Cleveland. We
Oh,
did a
nice. The indoor
Red Bull
one.
event. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got invited to go to that back when I
And
went
you're
pro.
young, hip, and pro.
When my back wasn't squished.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I think another thing is just like both of us have been doing this for so long and done different things. So I want to
It's true.
touch on like I competed. I had two things. I'm
Yeah, you competed at a high level.
at a good level.
I
at a good
competed
level.
in local category 4 cyclocross, which is not a high level.
Okay. You could have
That's a-
gone 3, dude. You could have gone 3.
That's it, and that was like quite a number of years ago. So that's in the past. Well, for now. What do we got?
Oh, we got a lot of stuff.
Oh man, stuff is happening. People are all over it. All over it. Okay.
How do wheels work? Well, they're circular.
Yeah.
That's how the wheels
And
work.
the ground is variable.
And then you mix gravity in that, and you got a fun situation.
Pow. It's true. So
Ooh, sorry guys.
we're not answering physics questions so tonight.
That's next week's
That's-
physics.
That's next week. We need to have the virtual whiteboard prepared for physics night.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll do that.
but you've
You-
done. Well, let's
What
open up. Let's open up some questions real quick.
Okay.
Any other questions? Delve in the last 20, 25 years of bike riding.
Let
What
me
year
ask-
did you start riding? Did we cover that already?
Well, it depends on what you define as started riding.
Like, you were like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, I'm a bike rider.
I don't know if there was a point because like I just grew up riding bikes. My family lived on the church property. Like there was a house that the church owned and my family lived in it. Church property was big, and so I would just ride my bike, my coaster brake, everything, whatever, every day. That's what I did
Just
for
ripping.
fun. Just go all the way around the church property. And then as I got older, me and my older brother, we'd start branching out into parts of the neighborhood. And my family went camping and fishing all the time. At a certain point, we just started taking the bikes with us. And we went mountain biking, but we didn't call it mountain biking. We just go up on Grand Mesa on the western slope, and there were trails, and we'd ride bikes on trails. And usually they were just like the trails that went around the lakes, because they were the trails that people used to go fishing. So they'd go from fishing hole to fishing hole, and we would ride on them. So we were trailblazing with the mountain bikes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this. The first
me.
time I went mountain biking, like went to a place to go ride bikes exclusively, was for my friend's birthday. I don't even know, it was probably 12 or 13, somewhere in there. And we went to Mary's Loop out in the Mac Loma part of Colorado over there in the west. And it was December. I know because his birthday was in December, but it was in December, and we had no idea what we were doing. And his mom dropped me and like probably 4 or 5 of us all off at Mary's Loop Trailhead after school. So it was like 4 in the afternoon, and we were trying to do all of Mary's Loop, just the 8-mile short one or whatever, before it got dark in December. We did not accomplish the goal of finishing before dark. But that was probably the one time, that was probably like the big kicker where it was like, oh, this is what mountain biking is. This is the shit. I want to do this. So it's kind of probably from there on
out. That reminded me of going night riding, getting convinced when I was like 17 to go mountain bike night riding in North Carolina because it's too hot during the day.
Sure.
So you go night riding, and the 2 guys were like, we have lights, just ride between us.
This is good thinking. Yeah, this works. Yeah.
It was rather scary, and I duct taped a mag light to my top tube pointing at the trail. So it was quite frightening.
And you liked being scared, and then you're like, I want to be scared a lot.
I think I just got a light and just did it. Oh, with a light.
Sorry, I read too much into it.
Yeah.
I won't do that.
So don't go night riding
without a light. Well, when did you decide you wanted to be a bike rider?
Give me 1 second.
And what kind of bike riding was it? Because for me, it went pretty much straight to mountain biking. I never did anything else. I mean, it went from coaster brake, kids' bikes, to just like whatever shitty bikes that we had around, like 27-inch wheel drop bar bikes, 26 and a quarter, whatever, fucking weird kind of hybrid bikes that we rode, whatever. Those are the stuff we took up in the mountains, and then I was introduced to mountain bikes. But this was like early 90s, so like mountain biking was still sort of becoming whatever it was becoming at that point. And Grand Junction Fruita area was kind of the place to be for it. So
for me, one in 2007.
2007?
No, 1997.
I was gonna say that date sounds young.
We moved to a new house, and the kids in the neighborhood rode BMX, and I totally just started riding with them. I thought they had the coolest bikes. They had 4 pegs, front and rear brakes,
such
full chrome.
Pegalicious.
Just probably 40 pounds of chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the chrome.
All the chrome.
It's wonderful.
And so they could do bunny hops. They could mildly wheelie.
Nice.
They could spin, do bar spins on the ground, stuff like that. I was just like, you guys are the coolest.
Amazing.
And one of them raced on the weekends.
BMX racing?
BMX racing.
Dude, BMX racing is like one of the things I have wanted to do for so long. Even for a while, I had a bike built up to try to do it, but just could never figure out to. Because you have to learn, you have to learn how to go fast and jump those jumps. It's required. It's required. You can't just go through the little loop ups and downs. You have to jump. You have to jump them.
You have to jump and you have to go fast and you have to sprint, and then you fall over exhausted.
Yeah, it looks like so much fun. Jumping in the air like that looks like a ton of fun. But
it is the flow when you get a good course that.
So I had this issue once I got into toward high school. I was riding my mountain bike, but then I would ride with some other kids who had BMX bikes and other stuff like that, and they'd go to the little dirt jumps that were in the little pockets of open ground all over town, and make jumps. And I would try to jump my mountain bike with them, but you know that if a jump was made by kids with 20-inch wheels, it doesn't work well by
It's too steep.
a mountain bike with 26s and a suspension fork and all that. But the only thing I ever did during all that, trying to do that, was bend handlebars. 'Cause the handlebars would keep bending down, 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 and
Yeah.
then I'd have to get new ones.
Yeah.
Or we just drop huck to flat on our hardtails and bend handlebars. We bought a lot of handlebars, and I don't think handlebars on cross country hardtails in the '90s were particularly strong.
No. The thing with BMX bikes and handlebars back in the day for us was that you would they would slip in the stem, and then a little bit of metal would get deposited, so it kept slipping back and forth, and you kept tightening it, and you kept slipping, and you kept tightening it, until you just crushed the handlebar to the stem.
Yeah,
Everything's steel, so it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Just put a pop can in it.
I'm going to
Move on.
pose a question, though.
Pose a question.
Hey, question away. Does anybody, what do you want? I did live in North Carolina for a while. You have any questions about North Carolina? Any questions about moving to Denver? Any questions about being a bike mechanic? Being pro? Being certified?
There's a question about bike lights from China.
What about them?
Check that question out. Sketch or not?
I think
Always maybe.
there's a potential they could be amazing and perfect or totally terrible.
I think the problem with anything from
Say it.
eBay or AliExpress
China.
or whatever, that doesn't
China.
have to be China. It can be, say the
Other
Asian
places.
market. This is the Asian market. Is anything that has a battery has the potential of that battery being faulty. That's the biggest danger. And then it can catch fire.
Yeah, actually,
I have seen the evidence of that happen.
I-
But I also own one of these lights. I haven't used it for a long time. It hasn't caught fire yet. So, I mean, we're already running the risk, like by mountain biking. Then we're mountain biking at night. Why not throw in a potentially flammable battery into the equation? It's all a risk.
like
Go for
cover
it.
your body in
So
batteries.
sketch. Like he asked the question, and come on, are these sketch? I know how this guy rides bikes, so mountain biking itself is sketch.
I haven't
At a
ridden.
certain point,
When are we going riding, Chris Harris?
go ride with Chris. Like he's,
When are
he's
we
super.
riding?
He's good. Yeah, he's a super good mountain biker. Like
Are you-
what he does is at the level that he and like most of these people ride is. You show it to normal people, and like that's sketch. That's terrifying, and we're all just like, I want more of it. So,
Yeah, I got pretty sketchy this past week.
yeah,
Yeah,
you trip coming out in the garage.
Yeah.
In your slippies.
I hit this motorcycle behind me. That's the action.
Where'd you get sketch at, dog?
Apex.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Young. Apex with Jeff Young, dude.
What happened?
We did a loop.
That's what one does.
We did a loop.
An uppy downy.
We did an upper downer.
Yeah.
No left and right.
I did one today.
Shut up.
I did. I sneaked it in.
You
so
didn't call me?
It was not planned. It was. I had to do some running around. I had to go to.
I'm going to do some errands.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I had to go to a bike shop in Littleton to get some Di2 stuff, to fix some Di2 stuff. And then I had to go to Maverick Suspension in Golden to get a part for a
Maverick.
Flow Zone. I don't know what he prefers. I haven't asked him what he actually prefers to.
Is
Google
Maverick
says
still
Maverick.
around?
What?
Is Maverick still making forks?
So no. What happened? No, they're not. But what happened was a long time ago, Ethan, who runs this place, he bought up all of the service parts for the Maverick forks and the Maverick suspension, and that was used on the Gary Fisher Palominos.
Yeah.
He bought up when those stopped being made. He basically had everything. We should have him on the show. We should do it.
A live chat?
Well, I've tried to have him on the show to just chat about, like, because he's been in the suspension sort of game for quite a while. And so he runs Flowzone over there. Anyway, he brought up all their, so for a while he was just like the guy to go to if you needed parts for a Maverick or a Palomino or whatever suspension. I remember buying stuff from him back in like 2006 for Gary Fisher's. Anyway, he just runs a shock servicing business. But I think he goes. I think he goes by Flowzone. I think that's what his. Well, actually, let's look at my invoice. Let's see what my invoice says.
Flowzone?
Hang on, everybody. Invoice says. Give me a second. Oh, wrong email. There we go. Maverick Suspension Incorporated. So he's still going by Maverick. So.
Well,
But
dang.
he was going by Flowzone at one point too. Anyway, I had to go get a part for a grip damper. Well, the compression, the little plastic sleeve that holds the spring on the compression stack, is shattered. So I had to go get one from him because he had them. And I was like, shoot, I'm already going. I'm driving here. I'm driving there. I'm already in Golden. His place is like 5 minutes from the Apex trailhead. Apex takes an hour to go uppy downy.
Yeah,
Boom.
if you're quick.
Normal speed.
I'm still slow.
It's normal
I'm
speed.
still slow. I can kind of go fast down, but I'm still slow.
Yeah, it's a quick uppy day. It's a quick hour. So I was like, shoot, I'm already driving out here. I can fit in an extra hour, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
Got the part, came back home, put it in the bike, put it back together, and now I'm here. That's how it went.
Okay, one thing I thought about. Well,
I bet you thought about more than one thing.
I thought about 12 things. One is
me one.
every iPhone that's made is
This took
made where?
Taiwan?
No.
Are they made in China?
Yeah. So it's just funny, like, you can get anything made at any level
Correct.
in China.
Yes.
They could make you a space shuttle.
Yes.
You could call up a factory and be like, I need a space shuttle.
True.
And they would say, how good do you need that space shuttle?
Well, they would ask you how much money you have to pay for this.
Yeah.
Which
is also
implied.
how good.
Yeah, right. It's a core. They go together.
You can
Yeah.
get whatever you want made at whatever level. Two things happen. Either companies don't have quality control on-site testing things, and
Often.
things can get changed because it is cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's like you're going along, we're making, stems, and it's suddenly like, let's just use this grade of aluminum because we have a bunch of it, and yeah, let's use that, and it's 10 cents
like
cheaper
in a pile
unit.
in the corner.
But you can't torque it to like the proper spec, and they all start
It cracks.
cracks.
Yeah.
So you have somebody that is overseas that checks those things. So I'm not actually very skeptical
I have
on
a very
stuff.
cheap Amazon Chinese stem on my mountain bike right now.
Yeah.
'Cause it
Let's
was-
see. Is
'cause
it
it-
magnesium?
No, it's
That'd be
aluminum,
fun.
but it's purple and kind of pinkish splatter colors, and that was the most important thing to me at the time, because all of the good companies don't make super cool colorful stems. They make stems in a solid color.
Stems are great to powder coat. I bought a powder coater,
Oh,
and
this is curious.
Yeah.
You've got my attention.
and you can just buy a easy bake oven to powder coat stuff, and it's easy. It's easy to do a basic job. It's hard to do an amazing job. Like anything in life.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
just
very happy with basic jobs that are quick and doable.
Basic jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basic jobs.
basic jobs.
Yeah,
No.
maybe but that'll be my next bike shop name. Basic Jobs.
You can
Basic
buy
Jobs Bike Shop.
a powder
Home of the
coater.
half-ass tune. Sorry, I keep going.
You can do your stem cap, your stem, all your headset spacers.
Mm-hmm.
You can do your rotors and just wear the paint off with your
Nice.
pads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a
I
little
love it.
pizza oven.
Color,
Yeah.
everything.
It's good to buy silver stuff so the color doesn't get kind of dampened. If you get anodized, you can just paint over anodized aluminum, and it sticks to it and it works. But powder coating is just electromagnetically sticking powder to something, and then you bake it on. That's it. It's easy. You positive, negative, spray it with some dust.
Zap it, dap it. Shake and bake and
Done. So
pop it on, clamp it down.
lay down,
Go
flip, and
shred.
reverse it. The problem is
Okay.
hair and dust. So once you start baking it, if there's a little piece of hair or a little piece of dust, so really high-end powder coaters have clean rooms.
Damn, there's always a
And
catch.
yeah, there's always a catch. So if you are good with like
So
a little,
don't do it in the room like where your dogs sleep.
just bubbles all over it.
Ugh.
It goes on evenly, smoothly. It's actually like pretty straightforward in that regard. You just have to have a clean room with filtration. But any questions?
Nobody's dropping very good questions. We're
Nobody's-
going. Night lights. Okay. I'm going to ask you this because I have an answer for this in my own right, but I want to know if you can think about this. What's a bike that you really liked that you kind of feel like you shouldn't have?
Dude, the frog bike,
The frog bike?
the Frogger.
What are you talking about? Like the company Frog Bikes?
I don't know. Is there a company called Frog
Yeah,
Bikes?
Frog Bikes was a UK company that made kids bikes. So they made
Oh.
like scaled the kids bikes that were pretty nice. In very
Yeah, let's go with
in
that.
all the sizes.
'Cause that's less
Frog,
embarrassing.
That's Frog Bikes. You can look them up on probably frogbikes.com. Gingy Cycle, Gingy Cycles used to be a dealer for them once upon a time. But I want to
Hashtag-
go back to what the fuck you think a frog bike is?
Dude,
Is it
basically,
bouncy?
what's that?
What are you talking
What are the
about?
sit-down three-wheeled recumbents? Two wheels in front, one wheel in back. Tadpole.
Tadpole.
That's what it
That's
was.
what it is. It's before it becomes a
Pre-
kid's bike. Apparently,
It
it's
degenerates.
it's for old people before it's for children.
It's Benjamin Button.
You liked riding Tadpole.
Oh, they're fun, dude.
Did you ride an
They're
electric
comfortable?
powered one or just?
I would love to.
I got my mom one for Christmas like a year
Listen,
and a half ago.
we're all gonna get older, and we're all gonna start riding recumbents. Fact.
Yes. No. We're not all gonna ride recumbents.
Yep. What's a frog bike?
What's a
We just
frog
covered that. So
Yeah. They make kids bikes.
latency.
Welcome.
Welcome.
No, I asked that question because it came up when I had a customer in with one of these bikes this last week. And one of the bikes I loved when I had it, and I can't explain why, was the Felt Virtue. If most people don't even know what it was, it's just Felt's 29-inch wheel, full suspension bike. It was like 140 in the back. I think I had a 150 fork on it.
You have a weird love for the Felt brand.
I mean,
A
I was
passion, if you will.
not a passion. I don't care about them anymore. But this is my point.
You guys
Like
broke
I
up?
know that they weren't like really good bikes. Like their geometry was always behind the times a little bit,
Yeah.
and their linkage like wore out and would always parts of it would always break. But kind of like your experience with the Pivot, I was so fucking fast on that bike, and I don't know why. Like I was fast everywhere. Like I did my best riding at Keystone that I've ever done on that bike. And most of my fastest pedaling. And this might be a youth and potentially fitness issue.
Go with youth.
Fastest pedaling times were all on that bike. So I think it was good, but I kind of like, just like your reaction to me right here. I'm like, I don't really want to admit that I loved it, but I really kind of did. I did.
Felt bikes, dude.
Because I wasn't actually a felt bike lover. I'm not a brand guy in general. We had them because we sold them.
Yeah.
I was a dealer for them. It's a brand I could get when I opened the store. And I was like, they'll be fine. And when I opened the store, they were great for road, city, cruiser, all sorts of stuff. And they had some mountain bikes. And then I was like, I'm kind of really fast on these mountain bikes. But then they made a bike called the Decree, which was dog shit garbage. And felt like you were piloting Apollo 13.
I was gonna. One interesting thing that I found was actually Santa Cruz with a Fox rear shock. I hated. They did not jump well.
Santa Cruz what?
Santa Cruz Blur, Santa Cruz.
Like what year? Like this is Blur has
That's
taken on.
old.
It's like an
I know.
XC bike now.
It's
not even the same bike.
The Nomad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been years since I worked at a Santa Cruz dealer, but they.
I think they're pretty good. I think people like them a lot now.
Yeah, but they were using generic tuned Fox shocks that would blow through the travel when you ride aggressive like myself.
Sure. And well, yes, because for a little while there, they were all about pedaling efficiency. They were probably super good in that like half stroke, right?
Yeah, like pedaling was amazing.
That's what they were. That's what their deal was for a long time.
Yeah.
They've somebody who researches more.
But when you
with ratios and stuff like that,
when I
probably
wrote it,
explain how they've changed it over the years. We could figure it out ourselves if we actually
ratios.
care. If we actually cared to do research for our show, but that's not going to happen.
No, just like Alex Jones.
Nobody comes here. Nobody comes here for the hard hitting journalism. How has the shock stroke and the leverage ratio changed on the Santa Cruz Nomad in the last 12 years?
It has to do. Chris can probably answer this. Chris Harris in the comments.
You could probably
call Christopher.
Somebody look it up. How's it changed in the last 12 to 15 years?
From
when it felt like a pretty good pedaling bike to just diving into the bottom of its travel to bikes that seem to be pretty well respected and loved across the board now for every reason.
I hated jumping any Santa Cruz bikes. Hated it with a Fox fork on it. When they put the Monarch or any of the RockShox stuff that was actually tuned for the bike or more tuned or designed for it, whatever they did, it was like night and day. I was
you're showing your absence from the bike industry a little bit.
I know.
When you're talking Monarchs.
I know. Monarch Crest.
Okay. There's a question.
That was a bike that I rode and I was like, I don't really like this. And
so
then
it was the opposite. It was
And then I rode it again with a different shock, and I was like,
ooh, I like
this is a totally different ride. Totally different.
Interesting. Okay, question. Someone shows up to the trail with a trail doggo for the ride. How do you feel about that?
As long as the dog doesn't get in my way.
I feel skeptical.
Skeptical.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because that can go any number of ways. There's a few trail dogs that they're locked into the system.
Yeah.
Right? They are on trail, they stay in line, and they keep with, and that's it. Fine. Great. Wonderful. Awesome. I've also been with people whose dogs are wanderers. They like to go out and come back, go out and come back, and so whoever owns them is always
shouting, "Snowflake!
Come on,
Snowflake!
Come on back to the trail, sweetie.
Where are you?
And
hold on, I lost my dog.
Hold on, yeah, guys, we gotta wait for him.
We gotta wait.
He really likes to chase
stuff.
Yeah,
because he's a dog and
yeah.
he's like found a squirrel, dude.
So, how do I feel if I don't know the dog, the person, the situation? I feel skeptical. I'm generally not for dogs on the trail. dogs on mountain bike rides because they're like children and they're a variable. You don't know what's going to happen. Of course, that can also be true with a lot of people. Like if you go mountain biking with any of the rude boys, you don't know what's going to happen. So, they're like dogs.
Now, Chris says that they're planted AF. Autofocus, I think that's what he meant. Linear.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
Linear as fuck. Wallowy as fuck. That's what they were. Yes. I think that's what he's saying.
Smash.
Now, planted. They
Yeah.
stay put. Yeah.
I'll give it a try one day.
I haven't.
But they're too cool. I don't want a Santa Cruz.
Steve, was Steve on here? Yeah, Steve. What do you think? You've been on Slow-Mads your whole life. So he's suspiciously quiet once we started talking about him. And I said Slow-Mads is like a joke because like it makes you slow, but they don't really make you slow. But
I got a YT.
you do have a YT.
I bought a YT. It's right here.
You have a white YT.
It's cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
It's white and a little black.
It's cream. But I got a YT. I do.
It's not cream.
Oh my god. I got it. It actually jumps really well. It's very progressive in the suspension.
It's got that horse link on it. That's gonna make it jump.
No, this one's got a bull link on it.
It's got the horse link on it.
But it jumps good. But it's not the best climber. But I also only got it for $1,800. Don't tell anybody.
That's a very good price.
That's very premium.
A good price.
Yeah.
I like it.
During the beginning of the before times.
Okay, so that bike is 4 years old?
Yep. I bought it in 2020 when everything was going crazy.
4 years old, and he has not destroyed the stock E13 rims. That means one of two things. Either he's smooth as molasses.
And I run tubes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Up until...
Dude, we haven't ridden mountain bikes together yet, and which is crazy. But like, you have to be one of those guys who's so fucking annoyingly good
I'm not.
at just like not just. Do you fly? Do you just like fly?
I just don't ride bikes. I have 2 kids, so I never get pinch flats because my bike's in the garage.
How much? What's your tire pressure? Do you even have any idea?
It's 30 psi.
Okay, so that's fine.
It runs like 28 to 30. I'm pretty picky about my tire pressure because that's the first thing that touches the ground. So you should always have your tire pressure dialed.
Yeah, I haven't ridden them. I haven't known anything with the E13 rims. My only point on them is I see them breaking constantly when people buy these bikes. I think YT even stopped putting them on at a certain point because they're soft, they dent, they twist, their Freya bodies just crumble. Maybe you're not putting out the watts. That's what it is.
I told you.
You're
I have
jumping
2
over
kids.
everything and you're not putting out the watts.
No, I don't put out watts.
What's up, dog?
What's up? I don't do that. I go pretty slow uphill, and then I go mildly okay downhill.
I kind of go medium everywhere. I'm very good at medium everywhere.
Are you riding tomorrow? What's your work day look like? Who wants to ride tomorrow?
I think I can go Thursday because I think my youngest is having a play date. And which means I can keep the older 2 at home and they can just...
All right, Thursday we're going riding.
Maybe Thursday. All right, anybody in?
What time?
Join us.
Do you want to go super early? Super early Thursday.
I don't think I can do super early because I think
super early.
I don't think I can take... I think this is how it goes. I think I have to take the kid to the kid, right? I think I have to take her to the play date.
How'd that kid happen?
Oh man, that kid was not supposed to happen. Love her to death. It's really tough to like be like, yeah, we weren't trying to have you. Glad you're around though. Sometimes you guys get way too much out of me. That's how I therapize by just
Surprise!
yeah, I have 3 kids. 2 of them were surprises. Guess which 2? 1 and 3. Number 1's a surprise. It's like, oh, surprise. 2 is like, okay, fine, you were okay with that. Then weren't supposed to do, and then 3 is like, oh, surprise, there's another one that you're not supposed to. That's why they're 4 and 5 years apart. Everybody?
Surprise!
Online? Yeah.
But riding Thursday, let's get back into that.
I'm looking at this.
Who wants to ride Thursday?
It's gonna have to be.
Drum roll.
I could probably do morning
All right.
if I leave all the kids to get. Yeah, I'm not gonna state on the internet that I'm leaving my kids alone on.
What's your address?
I'm not telling you. Maybe Thursday morning.
All right.
Morning would probably be or late afternoon.
Let's do it.
But I think it's supposed to start getting warm again, so morning would be definitely.
Yeah, morning. I drop the kids off at 8, usually.
So
then-
Apex parking lot at 8:45.
Could be done. Could be done. Who's in?
There's all these lunch ride people who have like jobs where they have to log in at 8 o'clock, and I don't understand that, but they usually go at like lunchtime. But I don't know if I can do the
Lunchtime
lunchtime. 'Cause
people.
I think I have to. I don't know.
Well,
Well, let's just not make our plan.
no lunchtime.
All I'm doing
'Cause
is
then the
showing
Yeti-
everybody how terrible it is to try to make plans to ride with me. It's impossible. I can't make plans to ride with myself.
Thursday, we're going riding.
All right.
The plans are made. We're done.
All right, we're done.
We're
Show's
done.
over. That's it. That's all
That's
she
it.
wrote. That's all they talked about.
It's 8:48. Let us know if you want to ride Thursday. You know how to get a hold of us.
It could be the best ride you've ever done.
Could be.
Probably would be.
What if we brought a fleet of weird bikes, like tadpoles and
For mountain
frog bikes, and just go nuts? If you make it through the ride, then you win a prize.
So I used to own a Yuba Spicy Curry long-tail cargo bike. It was an electric cargo bike. Something I always wanted to do was strap a cooler to the back of it and ride that bike to the first climb at the top of Piggin Sledge. I think it could make it. It would be challenging in places, for sure. I think I could get it up there. And I just want to hang out up there and hand out beverages to people as they came through the area.
We gotta do it. We just gotta do it. Is there
Just gotta do it.
a message coming in? What do we got?
Nothing. Not important.
Nothing. Nothing?
Nada. Yeah, I always wanted to do that. Never made it happen though.
Chris, you coming riding on Thursday?
Thursday morning.
8:45. We can do
8:45
Apex?
or
Are we saying Apex?
yeah, Apex is
Trailer?
good.
Yeah, I mean that's convenient.
It's convenient. It's quick, and it's like I said, it's an hour up down. Right? An hour.
I'm not doing it in an hour. I take lots of breaks.
Why are you taking breaks?
Cause I'm not in cardio shape,
You
dude.
it's just breathing.
Yeah, I breathe as hard as I can, and I
Yeah.
have to stop and
Breathe kind of hard for,
catch up.
and even the up's only like 45 minutes, 40 minutes.
Oh, CB, sure. What's CB?
Crested Butte. Has a place where he lives in the Crested Butte,
Oh,
which sounds great.
yeah, that's
Good.
awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah. Way to rub that in your face. I mean,
Yeah.
our face. Someone's face.
Such face rubbing.
Yeah.
What?
Stop.
Stop rubbing your Crested Butte in my face.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I heard it's nice out there. Well, but
All right, worst bike you've ever ridden?
Ellsworth.
Ooh, interesting.
Like, I've never rode an Ellsworth and been inspired. I thought it was smushy and whooshy and just like bleh. Like, just didn't inspire me.
Interesting.
I don't think they exist anymore. They're done.
They do. They do.
What?
They do.
Ellsworth?
No. They tried to get us to sell them. So our boy Todd Curbs, I don't know if you know him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He tried to get us to sell them a number of years ago at the Gingy, and I sold one. Some random guy bought a nice one or whatever. They were not memorable. They were fine. But
I feel like it was just outdated.
It's one of those things where, like, you're as a bike shop owner, bike store owner, you're trying to see, is there one of those sort of weird brands that has enough of a following to where if you were the dealer for them, anybody around would come to you for them. They were not that. They lost that years ago, and we figured that out. And they were not anything. There was nothing inspiring about them moving forward. It was like, hey, check these out. It's like, oh, look, they're carbon frames and they're kind of swoopy. What do you think? Fine. Nobody cares. They were fine. So we didn't sell them.
Kona Stinky technology.
It was just variations of single pivot. Who cares? Who cares?
No one cares.
It's fine. Like, it's nothing to talk about.
You said worst bike ever.
Yeah. Right.
And I said
Ellsworth.
And that's
yeah. So we didn't sell them.
Good.
Didn't end up buying them.
Glad.
I'm
glad.
Yeah. Probably one of the worst bikes I ever owned was Ooh, you got one?
Yeah.
What you got?
The Kona Abracadabra.
Oh yeah, Magic Link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
With
weird bike.
It had a little
shocks.
a little jag before its jog, or
Two
something
shocks.
or whatever. Yeah.
And one got locked out from pedaling forces, and then when you went down, it worked. So uphill, it was a 4-inch travel bike. Downhill, it was a 6-inch travel bike.
Yeah.
And it actually, it worked, but it took setting up. And that was a bike that failed because it was too complicated. Dude.
It's way too complicated.
People can't figure out one shock, and you give them two shocks that you have
two
to,
things to work on?
link, sync it up.
You have to think about them in tandem. Like orange and pink.
And
That's a callback, baby.
Yeah. So that one actually rode surprisingly well. He's not in Denver. So.
This is no more Denver.
No more Denver. It's done. You're just gonna keep moving west.
I mean, if West takes you to Crested Butte, that's a good place to stop. A little pricey.
What's another word? Oh.
You could go to what? You're going back to shitty bikes?
Yeah, shitty bikes. Carbon that wears out. Have you ever ridden a bike that has just been ragged out? Carbon, road bike specifically.
A Trek.
That you're just like,
Trek.
Any of them.
Yeah.
I've literally gotten on my bike and felt the fork just start flexing. Like I have a flat front tire. And I'm like, what is going on? And that is when your carbon fork is starting to wear out.
It just gets a little... It's wearing in, not wearing out, man.
Now you got suspension.
Yeah, exactly. All that resin's getting a little flexy in its old age. One of the worst bikes I ever owned, Gary Fisher Roscoe. Steve, if you're still on, you know what I'm talking about. So Gary Fisher had it was like when Gary Fisher was obviously under Trek's brand for a long time. It was the first like longish travel bike they made in the Gary Fisher line. So
Like the Liquid?
well, Liquid is a trek bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, similar. So it was a 140 mil travel Gary Fisher bike with just a Trek single pivot, and it was just terrible.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to
So
think.
it was Gary Fisher's model when Trek came out with the first time when they came out with those shocks that had the little bubble on top. So Trek for their like remedies and whatever, I think maybe for like some of their.
I'm thinking way too far back.
Yeah, Liquid takes you back. You're still dealing with bushing pivots when you're talking Liquid, but
And flex stays.
yeah, carbon flex stays and bushings.
Brushings.
But by the time they moved into Fuel EX, well not Fuel, Fuel EX and Remedy, they were on
Remedy.
bearing pivots, and then they introduced the shock that full floater they called it. So the lower pivot was attached to the
Arm and it moved with
the
it.
pivot.
Yeah.
Or the lower mount was attached to as an extension of the primary pivot, and then above the fucking upper mount there was an extra chamber, and there was a needle inside, a pin inside there, and it was as you went through travel, it would activate that pin, and then it would allow more air to go into that upper chamber. So it's like you would compress, and then you'd get a little more air, and then you'd compress, it'd go, and it felt awful. Anyway, those were on the Treks. They did not put such shock on the Roscoe. Roscoe was still terrible.
Chris says Mojo, Ibis Mojo,
Ibis Mojo Generation
DW.
1.
DW Link.
Is Ibis DW?
Mojo, DW Link.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Or is it just its own variation?
No, it's DW Link. It's on the side of the frame, DW Link. Once again, pivot. Giant. I mean, Giants?
Maestro, not DW. Maestro.
It's a DW Link.
It's different.
It's a DW Link.
It's not, because the patent says so.
Oh, gosh.
Wait.
Oh.
Dual rate control valve. That's right. That dual rate control valve. DRCV. Yeah. Gushy. That's how they were. That's how you described the DRCV on the Treks. Gushy. This, if that word meant anything, that's what it meant.
Ooh, Chris, what's the difference between the Maestro and DW Link? We're ready. When is Chris going to be on the show?
We need to do the fucking panel. We need to have
Why
Harris and Procise and Wenner. Dude, we could get Ethan on.
That sounds like a mess.
Like this show isn't a fucking mess to begin
Like
with.
a delicious
Such a
salad
delicious,
of chaos.
just a soup.
Salad of chaos.
Salad of chaos. Yeah, all those people. We just need to be able to figure out how to run like 5-6 microphones.
No, we're going to have one mic and we share. Okay, we share in this house.
But then, okay, we can share. two mics, and you and I are in charge of the sharing. Fair enough.
You get that one. You get that
and
one.
we can just discuss all these things because that would be a wealth of knowledge.
Was it the Anthem? Was the
Anthem's a bike, yeah.
The Anthem? What was the next one up?
That's
There's
just-
the Rain,
Trance.
the Trance. What was the medium travel, like 5-inch giant? Because that was a fun.
That's the Trance.
I think it was the Trance 29er.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, okay. this
Anthem
feels
was the
good.
XC bike, Trance, and then Rain.
Surprisingly good. I didn't think I would like a giant mountain bike,
Yeah, they're good.
but I am a giant man, so
They're great bikes. They're good. Just they've had a few hits, but they're generally deplorably ugly.
yeah, they have that like we don't really know what people want, so we just
But
Try
most
things.
people generally are okay with what we make.
yeah.
And that's how they make tons of money. So good for them.
And we're gonna undercut everyone like $400.
Yeah, because we own our entire production and supply chain. So,
So
sorry,
we'll just
fuck you.
we'll make it ugly, and we'll make
Yeah.
it ugly and $400 less, and people will buy it.
Exactly.
That's giant.
That is right.
And then you got Trek and Specialized, which make the same exact thing. They just make it slightly prettier and market it mildly better.
Yeah, better marketing, a little bit nicer looking, and that's about it. And then you have Cannondale, who doesn't know what they're doing.
They're like
They
made in
stopped knowing
America.
Man, the time there was a time when Specialized, Trek, and Cannondale were the big three, and that's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Dude, Cannondale. Innovators.
dude.
Innovators.
I had somebody drop me off at Cannondale this morning. Scalpel. Bike he bought a couple.
Did it have
couple
plastic
years.
chainstays?
Yes.
Literally, the lowest level of Cannondale Scalpel had molded plastic chainstays.
Yeah.
Like, not carbon,
No, just straight.
straight up molded plastic, like a trash can or something.
This bike is a great example, not only of how Cannondale just lost any clue what they were doing, but also how did shit just hit the fan during. So we bought it COVID years, right? Like 2021, somewhere in there, and it's a Cannondale, so it's green and black, and it's got a dropper post and a lockout, but they didn't think to equip it with the appropriate levers to separate the two of those things. So like the dropper post remote's in the right spot, but then kind of underneath it and underneath, if you kind of go like this, you can reach the lockout for the fork and the shock, which it's a Scalpel. What do you need those for anyway?
Dude,
Like what consumer is winning an XC mountain bike race because they could sprint the last 50 meters in full lockout mode? None.
listen,
So we don't need these things. Nobody needs these things.
lockout
Let's just stop it.
is just for people who don't know how to set up suspension.
Well, and it's for people who don't know how to. It's.
That's it.
I had to go through this with another person before the other week too. Chris, maybe if you're still on, help. I don't know how to answer this when this comes up. I've tried. So a bike will have a lockout, and maybe it's a remote, whatever, and it'll boom, lockout. And you go to push on it, sure, it doesn't move. But then if you go to push really hard, what does it do?
It blows through. It's got the Homer valve.
Correct. It blows through, opens up, right? And so always what people do is they'll be in the shop and they'll like push on it as hard as they can, but it's not locking out. I'm like, well, what you're doing is not what you do when you're in lockout mode on trail. You don't lock it out and go, which is exactly what he's doing. He's like, why isn't it locking out? It's like, well, it is. And then I go, Still so many remote. Well, yeah.
No, it's just because people don't know how to set up suspension, so then they put a lockout on it.
Well,
so
and they
you
have
can
an
just lock it out.
entirely unrealistic and wrong idea about what lockout means. They think it means fully locked out no matter what. And then you try to explain, if you had that, this is what I...
Yeah,
so correct
it would
me.
blow up the suspension
exactly,
if it was totally locked
right?
out.
If it totally locked out,
Yeah.
and then you went and rode it, and then like you forgot, you'll destroy it.
Do they still have the gold little knob? You pop the top off and it's your gate on RockShox? They have
No,
a gate.
that's a long time ago.
That was
so
12
long.
years ago.
Very many years ago.
There's a gate on that fork right there, that Argyle. There's a gate on there, I think.
There's a gate on there.
There's a gate.
Yeah.
But the
Lockout
gate.
is there to what? What's it say? Inhibit rider input?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know how to set up your suspension.
So I had to go through,
Lockout's there for...
I had to go through it last week and Like, no, if you sit here in the shop and like put your whole body weight into it, it's gonna push through. Like, but go ride, put it in lockout. It's gonna feel locked out. You'll be fine. Oh, that looks like a proper response coming up right there.
The new Fit F4 remotes, though, special clocking and tool.
Oh, nice. Clocking gives me trauma from Talus forks from like quite a while ago. They were so hard. They were so hard to get right. And even if you thought you got it right, there's a good chance you weren't. You get all the way done putting that thing back together and it'd still be not quite right.
Dude, Taluses were such a pain in the ass.
So, hands down, probably one of the worst things to ever have to like try to service.
So complicated, just so you can be like, it goes from 120 to 150.
Yeah, but you have to have these two little pieces that are like 2 inches inside the fork, rotated directly just the right way, and then forward and then back, and then put it back together. Nope. What do we got? Used to always call it being in remote hell. New Fit remotes. Oh.
Well,
Fox has been on a hit and miss with their fork remotes for a few years anyway. They've had a few that require special clocking, and now it looks like they're getting even worse with the new Fit 4s.
I don't need a remote.
Nobody does.
I barely need gears. Just one. Going to single speed.
Have you ever done single speed?
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
I know. I've ridden single speed, dude. I've been a single speed world champion.
You were the single speed
Yeah.
world champion? Did you go to the single speed world championships?
No, but I did a lot of single speed riding, especially in North Carolina. Like, you don't need gears.
Yeah.
You don't really need gears on those hills in the Piedmont.
Those little baby hills.
Those little baby hills.
Little baby hills.
Uh,
I rode single speed for the latter half of the early 2000s, before the 2000, probably like 6 to 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I had other bikes too, but I had a single speed.
yeah. I've had some fixed gears. Then I realized my knees don't really like that.
Mm-hmm. Also done fixed gear. Yeah. I've gotten the range as well.
Yeah, I've done the single speed
Yeah.
thing.
I have every like niche of credibility you could have. I've fixed gear,
What was
single
it?
speed.
I found something ridiculous, like a 28 tooth rear fixed cog.
Okay.
And then I put
Big one.
like a big one.
Yeah.
And then as a joke, because working here, everybody wants to put this massive chain ring to show how strong they are, because you're very strong.
Yes.
And you have big chain ring.
Big chain ring.
But when you have like a 28, you can run like a 58, and it's like a normal gear ratio, but it looks massive.
Yeah.
So I had
As do you.
yeah, massive. Like the
Massive.
cog's just massive.
You
But
guys
it's a
can't
normal-
even see these thighs that I get to see right here.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
Sorry.
But I bought that. I ended up with like a Raleigh Rush Hour, like fixed frame, like cheap
Yeah.
fixed frame, and I was like, screw it. I threw this like 28 tooth threaded cog. I put like a 58, and I would rip around town, and people would be like, "Dude, just look at that chain ring,
Huge.
dude."
Yeah.
You know, people running like a 44 tooth. I'm just like 58.
Baby stuff.
Yeah. It was all like old weird stuff that was in crates in the used part of the bike shop.
Right.
That I just hodgepodge together as my commuter.
My first fixie was I was living in Virginia Beach, Virginia, so it was flat.
Ooh.
And I was running a 52.18.
Yeah.
Also because the road that and my commute was 7 miles, but it was like a straight line. Like I left my apartment, got out on this road, and went straight. And then for like 7 miles, and then another couple blocks, and I was at the bike shop that I worked at. And so it was, and there was zero, the elevation gain was like where you went up and over the railroad tracks, kind of like this. That was it. And the road that I rode on was no bike lane and minimum speed of 45 miles an hour from the traffic. I was an idiot.
Sounds like the South.
Yeah. and so I had just like the biggest, I had no brake and just this giant gear because I could have a pretty good top speed. But there were a few instances where trying to shut that thing down was I had one instance where I couldn't slow down enough, and there was a utility truck passing me, and they tried to turn, and there was like a boom hanging off the top of it, and it almost clipped the top of me, so I had to like turn with this utility truck because I couldn't stop.
Gotta dick down.
Duck
down.
and then clip the pedal, and then go into this neighborhood.
Gotta dick down.
Like I said, I've covered the bases on hip trends for. Hey, don't yawn.
I'm yawning. Dude, it's 9 o'clock. The kids are to bed. I'm ready to go sleep.
You are ready.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to.
Well, we're gonna close it out unless you have any other questions. Drop it like it's hot.
We'll figure out how to get the suspension crew panel.
The suspension panel.
We need to get the suspension panel, and we need to get the old man bike mechanic panel go at some point.
All right, let's do it.
This is some of the
Free
since
beers.
I didn't know what our conversation was tonight. I was like, we need to do a conversation on like what makes a good bike mechanic and what makes a bad bike mechanic, because we still have to do our whole show on whether or not bike shops are snobby or not. That's gotta be coming up.
Well, there
You
it
are
is.
Yawning again.
I'm getting tired. I was up early.
All right. Sorry guys, I gotta get this guy to bed.
I gotta go to sleep.
I gotta go tuck him in.
It's time to go to sleep.
Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thanks for coming and hanging out and hanging out in my garage.
Yeah, Nick's
Thanks
garage. I think we get a little too casual in these chairs with backs on them. We're leaning back, just like, whatever.
Smoking cigars.
Oh, man.
I need to get paid by Tommaso. I have all these Tommasos behind me.
Yeah, you get paid by Tommaso. Look at all this.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna apologize about the Tommasos. That's not appropriate in this day and age, but they just happen to be in my garage right now because I can't sell them. So on that note, we'll see you next Tuesday, and
Let's go mountain biking on Thursday.
Thursday mountain biking. Let's just go to Crested Butte.
Yeah, let's do it.